All right, so I got this question about apps. So someone asked me, Octavio, what should I be eating or what could I do to get flat abs? Because I heard a lot of things. I heard that 1, apps are made in the kitchen. 2, I should go just completely zero carb. I should not be eating carbs. And you know, I've seen all these million diets everywhere. So what should I do? What's your advice? Okay, you are correct. There is too many diets, too much information out there. And at the end of the day, it's very simple, okay? The worst thing you can do is make this complicated in your head. It's very simple. I'll tell you what you need to do. Okay, so are abs made in the kitchen? Yes and no, okay? Here's my take on this. Abs are made in the kitchen? No, because you could be low fat, like have very low fat in your body. But if you have no muscle, you're still not gonna be able to see anything. You're just gonna look skinny and that's it, period. But what I get from your email is that you don't try just to be skinny. You actually want to see like definition, muscle tone, you know, all that good stuff. So you need to have muscle, okay? So the muscle, you're gonna go and work out so that you stimulate that muscle. And then you're gonna feed those muscles in the kitchen the right foods so they develop and you can burn the fat. So abs are not made in the kitchen. You have to stimulate them in the gym and you have to fit them in the kitchen, okay? So yes and no. Now, about the carbs, I'll go in zero carbs. And I think you're asking as well about, you're not sure what carbs you should be eating or what are carbs. So I'll go into detail on that. You should not go zero carb because yes, I mean, you lose fat in the beginning, but in the long run, you're gonna all you're gonna do is you're gonna slow down your metabolism. You're gonna make it very inefficient, and once you go back to eating carbs, you're gonna bounce up and gain a lot of fat. I'm sure you've done that before, and it's not sustainable. So zero carb is not the best way to go. Okay, what I want you to do, what I want you to understand is that carbs are really the #1 source of energy for the body. Carbs equal energy, period. That's it, as simple as that. So why do we get fat? Because nowadays, we don't burn a lot of energy because we're very sedentary. We're just sitting in front of the computer all day, or you know, we're at home just watching TV. So we're not burning a lot of energy. And 2, we consume way too much energy, way too much crap nowadays. You know, so all these processed foods, refined foods, sugar, junk food, all of that is super high in calories, super high in carbs and energy. So if your body doesn't burn that, your body's gonna automatically store it for the future because your body is a survival mechanism and your body doesn't know that we live in 2015 and you can get food just by going to the gas station or the grocery store or a restaurant. But in the caveman days, you had to hunt. So your body is designed to store all this shit, okay? So here's the thing. #1, you need to burn more energy, okay? Cut those carbs, okay? So that you can start burning from what you're storing, okay? Now, like I said before, carbs are the #1 source of energy. So that means when you're working out, your body's gonna mainly go for carbs. So if you're eating a lot of carbs, then yes, you're not gonna be able to burn that fat and see those abs because you're just burning what you're actually eating. You need to tap into what's stored in your body as fat, okay? So I want you to only eat carbs. We're not gonna go zero carb, but we do have to cut them down from what you're used to. But you're only gonna eat those carbs when you're gonna be active, physically active, when you're gonna work out or when you're starting your day, because that's when your body's gonna use all this energy, okay? If you're just gonna go to bed, if it's late at night or the afternoon and you're not gonna be very active, if you're just gonna be in front of the computer or watching TV, the worst thing you can do is eat carbs, because if you don't use them, your body's gonna store them, okay? So let's go into this. What are carbs, okay? Or what foods are carbs, okay? Foods that have carbs and that you wanna stay away from are gonna be usually processed foods, refined foods, anything that's canned, that has sugars. So really carbs are like, let me put it to you this way, real simple. Carbs are like women. Yes, there's very good women, there's very bad women. Not all women are made equal, and not all of them are created equal. Or I guess men, if you're a woman watching. Okay, so there's good carbs and there's bad carbs. And it's all about which one you pick to eat and when you eat it, okay? So the bad carbs are all the sugars. They're called simple carbs or fast digesting carbs. The reason why they're called like that is because they're already sugar. Your body doesn't have to break them down. Once you eat them, it only takes your body about 3 to 5 minutes to have all that sugar in your bloodstream. So there's a huge spike in your insulin, and you're gonna store fat. Okay, so that's what we want to avoid. Your body doesn't have to break them down. That's why they're called simple. Okay. Now on the other hand, the good carbs, the good woman, the good man, it's complex carbs. Okay, which means they're not in the simplest form. Your body, when you eat them, still has to break them down, still has to process them. So it's not a huge spike in your insulin, it's a slow process. So you're gonna have a steady source of energy, and one, you're not gonna crave so much crappy foods. Two, your energy is not gonna crash at some point during the day. And three, they're gonna be better for you to not store more fat because you don't have a huge spike in your insulin. Okay, so I know this kind of sounds complex, but it's very simple. All you have to do is go for complex carbs when you're gonna need energy. Complex carbs are gonna be any type of vegetable, any type of grain, so like anything that's multigrain, brown rice, sweet potatoes. We're going more for the brown side of things, okay? Simple carbs are gonna be more on the white side, so like white rice, white potato, white pasta, all that stuff, garbage. We don't wanna eat that, okay? Now, complex carbs still include some fruits. Now, with fruits, you have to be really careful because I know most people think that fruits, they're super healthy. And yes, they're eating a bunch of fruits and they wonder why they don't lose fat. Well, fruits, even though they're good, they're packed with sugar. So if you eat fruits all day, even though, I mean, it's great because you're going to have some antioxidants and vitamins and fibers, but when it comes to the waistline, it's going to be the same thing as going to eat an ice cream because of the sugar. It's going to end up doing the same thing to your body. Now, not all fruits, same thing, are created equal. So the slowest digesting fruits are the ones you want to go for. This include anything that ends with berries. Okay, so blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, blackberries, also apples, pears, grapefruits. Fruits you want to avoid that digest very fast is just like almost simple carb like sugar. It's going to be watermelon, it's going to be banana, it's going to be mango, grapes. So those you want to stay away from. Now, even though fruits are great, remember, you want to cut them down and eat them only when you need energy. And if you're really fat, if you're really overweight, I know people get sensitive about this, but let's just call it like it is. If you have a lot of fat, if you're fat, you already have a lot of energy stored in your body. So you definitely need to cut your carbs so that you actually can tap into the energy source that you already have stored, okay? If you go zero carb, it's not gonna really work because your body's gonna start burning. Once you deplete all the carbs from your body's gonna start burning a lot of muscle. Now you don't wanna lose muscle, you wanna gain muscle because muscle burns fat, okay? If you start losing muscle, you're gonna end up flabby, skinny and flabby with no muscle tone, okay? So what you wanna do is increase the animal foods, proteins, okay, so that you don't lose muscle, so you actually can develop those abs, so that once the fat is gone, you can see those lines and those little squares, little muscles of the six-pack, okay? So what are these foods that you need? Anything that comes from an animal. So it could be a chicken breast, could be eggs, it could be a turkey breast, it could be lean cuts of meat like filet, sirloin, fish, seafood. All these things are very high in protein so that when you hit the gym, you still can repair those muscles and build them stronger. And once the fat is gone, you'll have all those muscles underneath and you'll be able to see that definition. See, what I want you to understand is this is the muscle and this is the skin. And in between is all the fat. So no matter how hard you hit the gym, you can have this muscle really strong, really developed, but if you have between the skin, if you have a lot of fat, you're never gonna be able to see them. And on the other hand, you can have the muscle, the skin, you can have no fat because you diet really hard and you do cardio. But if you don't have the muscle, well then you won't have anything to show. So abs are made in the kitchen, yes and no. You have to do both really. You need the gym and you need the kitchen. That's it. Hey, keep sending me your questions and any challenges you're facing to my Facebook, and I'll make a video for you. I am committed to bring it to you raw and real, no BS, no hype, no sugarcoating. I call it like it is.